Big news for the Lies of P sequel coming out of Neowiz's FY24 earnings report today. In the company's future pipeline, the sequel has been estimated for an FY 2026 release, which is far sooner than I think most people were expecting. But before you get too excited making room for bigger lies and bigger P, it is important to note that this is just an estimate from the company. There are disclaimers all over this thing telling us anything is subject to change. It should be taken as a grain of salt, as previous earnings reports have been too optimistic about the release of the Lies of P DLC, estimating a second half of 2024 release when that did not happen, obviously. Still, this is the first bit of information we've gotten on a possible release, so it's a huge step up from "we're working on it." Besides that, 2026 does actually make some sense as well. The first game had a 3-year dev cycle, and a 2026 release would follow that. It's not impossible, even with the rumored additions coming. Round 8 Studio has been growing and wouldn't have to deal with the pandemic this time around. The longer turnaround on the DLC may be due to focusing the bulk of their resources on the sequel, while having a skeleton crew work on the DLC. Speaking of which, the DLC was mentioned in the report as well, but yeah. The DLC is still coming this year, as its successful launch was listed as one of Neowiz's primary goals this year in the earnings report. Its estimated release, though, in the future pipeline just said FY25, which I do not love. Previous sources had it for Q1 of 25. The fact that we're halfway through Q1, there's been no trailer or announcement, and they've declined to put a more specific release, makes me feel a little bit more pessimistic about that. I'm honestly starting to lean towards a Q2 release, but we do have one last bit of cope. An oddly perfectly timed PlayStation State of Play is happening tomorrow, so maybe, just maybe, we'll get a trailer?